all right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the biggest crew that's been in here all day. So please, if you're coming in at the last little bit, there's still a few spots up near the front, so you can file in your way. But I would like to welcome to the stage Big Kyle Hammond and Little Sam. Please give them a round of applause.
Wow, what an intro.
That was great.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I am Sam Allcock, or Little Sam, I guess, as I'm now going to be known as, Director of Product Management at Jamf, and I'm joined here by Kyle, who is our Principal Software Engineer. And together, we've been working closely on shaping and delivering Self-Service Plus experience over the past year. So we're super happy that you're all here today, and we're able to kind of talk together about user experience and what that means at Jamf. And I wanted to start off with this stat, which I found super interesting. It's half of all workers say they would leave their job if the technology didn't work for them, which is crazy when you think about the implications in terms of turnover, the training costs, morale, lost productivity, all driven by the quality of the tools given to people and the experience that they have. And thinking, what does experience mean? Jamf has a bunch of security, identity, and management capabilities today. And that's just a bunch of them which we've kind of put up there as an example. But we can group these together really simplistically into management stuff and security stuff. And that third piece is the experience. It's the glue that holds these things together. It's how you can create more value than the sum of its parts. And it's the feeling you have when you use the product. And that takes us to our goal. It's the North Star, what we're striving to achieve, is that every Jamf managed user should have the best possible digital experience. And that means wherever they work, whatever device they use, Jamf and its partners are delivering a seamless, secure experience. But before we dive into the best Jamf digital experience, we thought we'd warm things up a little bit with some other top-tier digital experiences. So the App Store has been around for over 15 years, and it's given us some questionable gems. And so we thought we'd start with a little game we're calling Real or Fake App Store Edition. So everyone get your phones out, get ready. I'm going to show you 5 apps. Some of them are genuine. Some of them I made up on the flight over. And if you scan the QR code, you can participate in the game. And just to spice things up a little bit, we're going to be giving away Jamf Nation reward points or bytes. You can use these to exchange for swag, premium experiences, or additional training. So I'll leave this up here for a little bit.
One thing to note for the people that are watching this later that aren't in the room, this QR code is only going to work for the people in the room, so don't expect to get your Jamf Nation points next week or next month or anything.
Yes, yeah, good point, thanks. Okay, so let's see if everyone's joining. Appreciate the Wi-Fi is a little fruity today. Give it a couple seconds.
Lots of people registering.
There's a lot of people.
You got about 120 people in right now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think we're going to do it. Let's call it. So the first app is iNap at Work. This is an iPhone app. It creates kind of like shuffly paper noises or keyboard typing. It was when we were all in the office and we had to pretend that we were working in our cubicles, so when your boss came around, it kind of looked more legit. So is this real or fake? Okay. The results will be at the end, or maybe it won't be. We'll find out. Oh, that app is real. Half of you got that right. Congratulations for those half. The next app is PubBuds. PubBuds is a social media app. It's where you meet people when you're at the pub or at a bar or something, and you want to be friends with them, but you're not keen on hiking or having times outside of the bar. 5 more seconds. Is this real or fake? Okay, time's up. So, congratulations. That is actually fake, which most of you got, but I wish it was real. Okay, the next app is Just Hold On. This is an app with just a button, and you you compete for how long you can hold that button for.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, can't forget the global leaderboard. OK, nearly up. So is that app real or fake? Yes, most of you got that right, actually. It is real.
It is.
OK, the next one is the Bro app. This is for men to send pre-scheduled messages or little check-ins with their significant others to seem more attentive.
Yeah, it's strange.
Alrighty, so, wow, it's really 50-50 for a lot of these. Yeah, that is real. That's a real application. Yeah, yeah, well done. And the final one is hot dog or not. This is an app which uses AI to tell you if the image you've scanned, if it's a hot dog or not a hot dog. I don't care if any of these are real or fake. They've all got solid use cases, and they all deserve to exist. OK, final one. We'll reveal the answers. It is fake. If any of you are fans of Silicon Valley, you would have spotted this one. 50-50 exactly. That's amazing. OK, so let's move on, and we can take a look at the leaderboard, see who the winners are. Congratulations, Dan Taylor. You've won, I can't remember how many points we had at the beginning of the slide, but a bunch of points, and likewise with the top 5. So come find us afterwards. We need to scan your badges, and you can get some Jamf Nation reward points. So I think
That worked well.
I think that was OK. Good job, Wi-Fi. And I think we can all agree that was a fun experience, which is a really nice segue back into Jamf and the user experience. And that's sort of where Self-Service Plus comes in. So last year, we announced Self-Service Plus right here on this stage, but not this stage. It was a different state. And we introduced Self-Service Plus as a complete reimagining of the end-user experience. Starting with a redesign of the Self-Service Classic app, we wanted to fix 3 key things. We wanted to eliminate application sprawl, so the apps you require to install to benefit from the Jamf for Mac SKU. We wanted to create a consistent and modern user experience. And we wanted to bring together Jamf security and management tools together in one place. And since then, the results are in. They're starting to speak for themselves. We've got over 500,000 Macs now using Self-Service Plus. We've got 3,000 accounts which are deploying this as their default option. We are managing to ship updates nearly twice as fast as we were able to do with Self-Service Classic. And we're seeing a 25% increase in the monthly active usage compared to Self-Service Classic. And so what that tells us is that end users from those kind of early adopter group are more engaged, and they're getting more value faster from Self-Service Plus. But it wasn't all plain sailing. We had some really incredible feedback from the community and stuff that you had told us. And so some things that we wanted to take into this kind of next phase of work was end users expect things really just to work, even across different types of devices. And some admins would prefer to wait for Self-Service Plus across all the devices before considering a move just on Mac. You also told us that having parity with Self-Service Classic is extremely important. And you also told us that our comms could definitely have been a little bit better. Some people were caught off guard that this thing was even happening. Some people misread the dates and got heart palpitations when they thought we were going to deprecate Self-Service Classic in March of this year. And some of the links are dead, and not all of our docs were published adequately and explained everything. And so these insights have really helped shape our roadmap and how we engage with the community going forward. I'm going to hand over to Kyle, who's going to talk a little bit more about what we've shipped in the last year.
Yeah, so we've shipped a bunch of different features with Jamf Connect, or Jamf Connect being the biggest one that integrated with Self-Service Classic. So Jamf Connect Classic was a really powerful tool, still is, and the user can synchronize their password with their IDP. They can do local privilege elevation using Jamf Connect, and of course, it has the menu bar that has some options even when Self-Service Plus is not running. So all of those things are great, and we've also improved some of the early information that we were displaying in the security dashboard based on your feedback about what you wanted to tell end users that Jamf Protect is doing on their device. So again, going back to Jamf Connect, in Self-Service Plus, it just means that there's fewer things that you have to deploy. You deploy Self-Service Plus. You don't have to deploy Self-Service and Jamf Connect. You just deploy the one thing. And it's really about getting the user to have that one place where they go to interact with all of the things that you all are providing for them to do their jobs in one clean interface. And so they can check on their password status, they have it, and they can get their app catalog things and bookmarks all in that one place. So the other thing is, let's talk about deployment. For the first maybe half of the year even, Self-Service Plus was kind of difficult to deploy. It required a download from Jamf account. You had to make a policy, you had to upload it into Jamf Pro, and then you had to scope it to the right devices, and then you had to somehow try to get rid of Self-Service Classic on that device, or just run with both. So all of that was very difficult, and we fixed that by getting the easy button in Jamf Pro, just a simple checkbox if you want to use Self-Service Plus as your primary deployment. Now you can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit and just talk about a little bit behind the scenes of how we actually make Self-Service Plus, which is not something that we typically talk about, but currently our apps, Self-Service Classic is going to be deprecated March 2026, not 2025, March 2026 is when it's going to not be the primary tool anymore, and we'll probably be putting some warnings in the Jamf Pro interface that this is a deprecated thing and you should definitely be moving towards Self-Service Plus. And by the end of 2026, we're going to be removing Self-Service Classic from Jamf Pro altogether, so it will not be an option. Self-Service Plus is the current app, it's available, and it is the future that we're going to be putting everything into. The upcoming Jamf Trust integration is our next big one, and it has a ZTNA point as well as the threat prevention features. That's going to be coming soon-ish. It didn't make it in time for this JNUC, so I can't say that it's in beta right now, but it should be by the end of the year. And I just wanted to talk about Jamf Connect login. That's that top right icon there, if you're not familiar with it. It will continue to be an independent app because it solves some different problems. It solves things at the initial Mac enrollment section as well as the login screen. And it doesn't really do anything while the computer is running in sort of what we would consider a normal mode. It's only at the login window and the initial setup. So Jamf Connect login will continue to be an independent deployment. And Jamf Protect as well will continue to be independent. Right now we're not planning on integrating Jamf Protect into Self-Service Plus directly for deployment purposes. Protect tends to run in the background. It just protects your Mac and delivers all that juicy data up to your SIM or wherever else you want to collect the data into Jamf Protect's backend. And it is, as a security product, they want to sort of be independent and be able to ship the latest security updates into Jamf Protect outside of the Self-Service Plus release cycle. Okay, so many teams have come together to produce Self-Service Plus. I just want to take you on a quick little tour behind the scenes. Making the platform is Team Narwhal, and they manage the release process and have created kind of this host app where all of the other teams at Jamf can put their actual capabilities. And then Team Caribou is the identity provider that has been working on Jamf Connect for a long, long time. They continue to support identity and all the new cool workflows with Platform SSO and SSO extensions, local privilege elevation, and Kerberos being super important to some of our customers. Team CatDog does the management stuff with Jamf Pro, so app catalog and updates all go through Team CatDog. And on security, we have a couple different teams because we have Hoplon doing the Protect notifications and basically running that Protect agent or building that Protect agent. And then we have Team Empire, who is doing VPN and ZTNA things. And for those who don't do software development as their company or long-time thing, the names are made up by the team members themselves. They get to choose whatever they want to call themselves when they organize around building these features. A quick note about quality and releases. We've been releasing Self-Service Classic every 2 weeks. We've missed a few here and there. We do RC builds on every other week in our beta channel. So you get to see a little bit of preview if you want to be on the cutting edge. We have just started the extended beta program that launched, I believe, on Friday. So there's an extended beta program that you can opt into on Jamf account to get a download of a package of Self-Service Plus that has additional features in it that are not quite ready for prime time. We want to gather a little more feedback on. And the extended beta right now includes a new account management section. And that's where the Jamf Trust feature is going to be added as well. And on the automated and manual testing, we do a lot of testing on every release of Self-Service Plus. We have a big suite of tests, both people doing that, the humans pushing the buttons, as well as the computers trying even more combinations of things. But you all have a lot of different environments that we can't mimic. And so things slip through that we don't find. And we really welcome your bug reports, and we read all those and try to fix the things that are affecting the most people as fast as we can. So I'm going to give it back to Sam to tell us a little bit about what's coming next.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, so roadmap time. We're continuing our work to consolidate the standalone applications, standalone end user applications into Self-Service Plus. And the final one on the list is Jamf Trust. We're starting with our network protection, which is content filtering and network threat protection, which blocks users from accessing harmful content or malicious content online. There's no new interface for this. It will be an update to the existing security screens, and it will reflect the status of both Protect and Jamf Trust under the hood. Later, we'll be adding ZTNA, our next generation VPN. And once that lands, everything from Jamf Trust will be inside Self-Service Plus. So that means your users will only need one application for anything in the Jamf for Mac SKU. And that experience, so in terms of dates, the security integration beta we're looking at by the end of this year, and the ZTNA beta is early 2026. Self-Service Plus is more than just apps and notifications. It's now becoming more of a home for identity. And so Kyle already mentioned, but we're adding an account page into Self-Service Plus. This will group together who the user is, how they're signed in, and what services are connected. It should hopefully aid with troubleshooting and increase transparency. Dates for this one, we're in beta as of yesterday, so you can try this out right now. And we'll be looking to go GA by the end of the year. This one I'm particularly excited at, and I really want to drum up some support for beta on this one. There isn't a one-size-fits-all when it comes to end-user experience. Every organization has different workflows, different terminology, and a different approach to communicating with end users. And so with this upcoming app customization feature in beta, you'll be able to tailor Self-Service Plus to better reflect your environment. So just to show you a little bit on what this looks like, we're allowing you to reorder components or entire sections. You could remove a component if it isn't relevant for you, or you could remove an entire section if that isn't relevant for you either. And in the future, we'd really like for you to extend this and go a little bit further with it, but we'll talk about that further. Dates for this one, again, we're entering a public beta by the end of this year, and I would love for you to try it out. So zooming out, or maybe to elevate, to be a little bit more on brand for this JNUC, and looking at the bigger picture of where we're headed and some of the themes rather than specific features. This one, end user on the go, is how we're thinking about deskless users. We're thinking about folks who move between devices, don't have a dedicated device, or maybe aren't tied to a desk. And end user, we mean, in this sense, is quite broad. We mean teachers or pilots, retail workers, healthcare. For education customers, we're looking to bring a unified solution for management, security, and classroom tools into a single unified experience. On the commercial side and kind of frontline users, we really want to improve the login, logout, and kind of reset experience. So imagine a nurse turning up, picking up an iPad from the rack, logging in, getting access to all the tools that they need to do their job, and then being able to log out securely and have peace of mind that everything is reset back to normal. The next theme is about giving time back, and giving time back to both admins and to end users. There's a bunch of features in this thing that we're aiming to give productivity gains for. And so some of these are an optimized Self-Service Plus UI. We already looked at an app customization feature. We want to extend that with better integrations with APIs, more dynamic content driven by you and our partners, and being able to really optimize the experience for the organization that you're in. Some of the things would be quick access to important tools via the menu bar. So we imagine a world where the defaults could be set by you, the admins, but really this is a powerhouse of end user productivity, and end users could be able to add bookmarks or other tools that they would find useful and get access to stuff without having to load up the main app experience. We see a world where you can have actions across Jamf managed devices. So maybe just checking battery health, but also doing actions like lost mode or accessing recovery keys. And finally, we think we can improve the troubleshooting experience and just turnaround time using AI. At the start of this session, I said 50% of workers leave because of bad digital tools. And this theme is really aimed at that. Some examples that we're thinking about here is a really rich App Store experience. Lots of look and feel changes and features that elevate and polish the entire app experience. And we're not just thinking Self-Service Plus for this one. This is more about every Jamf product should be enjoyable for end users. It should help them stick around and be more productive. And that leads me to one more thing. I'm super happy to introduce to you Self-Service Plus for iOS. And this is more than just a refresh. This is bringing together capabilities of both Self-Service Classic and Jamf Trust into a clean, unified experience. So whether users are downloading apps, checking their device's security, or accessing notifications, everything is now in one place. Self-Service Plus brings together all of the tools and users need to stay secure, informed, and productive. And this begins with the new dedicated security screen shown right here on the first tab. There is summary information like policy and usage, and you can get more detailed breakdowns, stuff like policy just here and usage on some other screens. We're also adding employee badge, which is a virtual ID card users can use to get access to physical buildings. A big goal of ours when designing Self-Service Plus for iOS was to reduce the fragmentation, and the notifications was a huge part of that goal. So with unified notifications into Self-Service Plus, users get a single feed of relevant alerts. As an admin, you control what gets surfaced and how urgent it is, so users can see what's important and when it's important. The security alerts come with detailed information for end users on what they need to do if they're part of that resolution of a threat. I should also mention that all the screenshots so far have been iOS, but it looks right at home on iPadOS too. And yes, it does support dark mode.
Yeah, so when we first launched Self-Service Plus for Mac, a common concern was feature parity with the Self-Service Classic. And we want to be really clear that on iOS, feature parity is incredibly important, and it will ship. The first version of Self-Service Plus will have full feature parity with Self-Service Classic. And the best part of it all is you really don't have to do anything. So the new app is going to be delivered through the App Store. It's going to be a direct upgrade from Self-Service that we all know and love today. The next version, when we get to it, when it releases, will be Self-Service Plus. And it will have, when it ships, it will have exactly the Self-Service Classic functionality that you have today with the app catalog, updates, bookmarks, some notifications, some search functionality. It'll get a bit of the new look and feel, but it'll have all the same functionality. And when you are ready to include Jamf Trust functionality from Self-Service Plus, and remove the current Jamf Trust app from those devices, you deploy a Jamf Trust config profile targeting Self-Service Plus, and that will enable all of the Jamf Trust security features within Self-Service Plus at the same time that you would remove the current Jamf Trust app. So, availability. We should have a public beta of Self-Service Plus by the end of 2025. Currently, in test flight, there is an 11.4 version of Self-Service Classic. For those, I'm sure there are people in this room that are part of that test flight group. And that 11.4 version of Self-Service Classic is built with the host app shell that Team Narwhal made. And it takes all of the Self-Service Classic functionality and it just sort of replaces that underpinning so that we will be able to deliver the Jamf Trust code into that same app in the future. So 11.4 in test flight right now, looks just like Self-Service Classic, works just like Self-Service Classic for all intents and purposes, but from the engineering side, it's built completely differently. So that's how we're going to sort of minimize the risk of getting from the current app to the new app is by going through this beta process. And we expect to ship the GA of Self-Service Plus early next year.
Cool. So just to wrap things up and look at the bigger picture, we have 4 key themes that we're working against for the next few years. These are integrations, Jamf on the go, productivity and partnerships, and delight. We're making progress on each of these in tandem. So we're bringing together our disparate apps into a single unified experience through Self-Service Plus. We're extending our reach to deskless users through Jamf on the go. We're giving time back to admins and to end users through productivity and partnerships. And we're delighting through improved and elevated experiences through the delight theme. And we really wanted to deliver on our promise of every Jamf managed user should have the best possible digital experience. That means wherever they work, whatever device they use, Jamf and its partners are delivering a secure experience, secure, seamless experience. Words. And so a year ago, like I said, we set out to change the way Jamf and end users interact with Jamf. And we've been overwhelmed with the community and the reaction and the feedback that we've been getting. And so we really wanted to give you, the community, a huge thank you for everyone who's adopted it and pushed us to improve and inspired us to produce a roadmap for what comes next. We'll be sticking around right now. After the session, we'll also be at the booth. We'll be happy to take any questions. But yeah, thank you very much.
These guys good. Round of applause.
Good job.
All right, we have about 10 to 15 minutes where we can handle a few questions. If you have a question, just go ahead and raise your hand, and I can hand you the microphone so that everybody can. Oh, perfect, got one right here.
Will there be any API or GUI interaction for notifications through Self-Service Plus?
Yeah, so the beta that's going to be kicking off is the sort of first step towards that. So it won't include a GUI for notifications, but that's exactly where we want to go with it. So we'll be really happy for you and anyone else to try that first beta version and let us know kind of how you'd want to interact with it, how you'd want to build a feature to make that work.
And does that include integration with custom tools so I can create custom notifications from third-party tools as well into Self-Service Plus?
That's exactly the dream, yeah. So we'd want you to, if you build your own tool or the third-party tools and partners that you use, we really want it to come together into Self-Service Plus and have more dynamic content. So yeah, that's exactly where we want to head.
Cool, I got one right over here.
Will there be an easy way to migrate from Classic to Plus? Like remove the old app and just leave the new one?
On Mac or iOS?
Mac or iOS, but specifically Mac.
Sure.
Yeah, you go for it.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So on Mac, if you're using Jamf Pro, there is the auto deploy easy checkbox in the settings app, or not the settings app, but the settings area of Jamf Pro that you can choose to deploy Self-Service Plus automatically. And that by doing that, it will automatically remove Self-Service Classic. So it just swaps it on the disk for you. That is the easiest way to automate that. If you're doing manual policy deployments of Jamf or of self-service, then you are sort of ruling your own path there, and you can build it however you like. You can have smart groups that trigger other smart groups, or you could have it in one policy that runs the uninstaller for Classic and the installer for Self-Service Plus. It's really kind of up to you. On the iOS front, it is going to be an upgrade. It is just the next version. It's going to be version 12 of self-service. We'll have all of the Self-Service Plus things. It'll be the same bundle ID. It has the same settings that manage all of the Jamf Pro configurations. It's just going to be possible to apply another configuration for Jamf Trust to activate the Self-Service Plus version of Jamf Trust.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. We got another one over here.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Is there anything on the roadmap for branding, like custom branding for Self-Service Plus? That would be great.
Yes. That was the third question,
That was the third question, yeah.
Yeah, so Sam and I had a bet before the session, and I said that one of the first 3 questions is going to be about branding. And Sam said, no, just the first. We only want to bet on the first. I'm like, yeah, I don't know that the first question is going to be branding.
It's a high stakes game.
But it's going to be, yeah. So yes, branding. Within macOS Self-Service Plus, you can brand the image and text at the top of the homepage. This already works in Self-Service Plus. You can brand the image and text that appears in the top of the sidebar on macOS. That already works. Changing the icon of the app sort of half works. So for people who know, it sort of works when you run the app, and when you stop running the app, it doesn't work anymore. That's got to fix in testing right now. So I expect that to be sometime before the end of October. We should get that fixed, that the icon just stays with the branded icon. The name of the app on macOS is a branding feature that Self-Service Classic has had for a number of years, and lots of our customers really like that feature. And it is incredibly difficult to do in Self-Service Plus. Self-Service Classic was a simple app. It launched, it had a window, it communicated over the network to Jamf Pro, it communicated over some on-device communication protocols with the Jamf management framework, and it quit. That's pretty much it. It was, so you could name the app whatever you wanted, and that was fine, and you could change the icon very easily. Self-Service Plus is not like that. Self-Service Plus has daemons in it, it has agents in it, all these background processes. Soon it will gain network extensions from Jamf Trust in it. And macOS requires a full path to all of those things. And when you change the name of the app, now that daemon and agent and network extension don't live in the same place anymore on disk, and you have to go tell macOS that all of those things are different. And so it's a much bigger deal, and I personally have been working on it for the last 3 weeks. That is my basically only programming job right now, is to make branding work. When will it be done? I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I hope to have it by the end of the year for sure. I'm working on it. On the iOS side, let's talk about iOS branding. Apple doesn't let us change the icon or the name of the app, so that's just off the table. Can't do it because Apple doesn't let you do it. Branding inside the app, though, is definitely under our control. And Self-Service Classic has some branding options already. Jamf Trust has some branding options already, and we're looking at ways to integrate those so that there is a cohesive design to the branding that goes into iOS Self-Service Plus. But nothing definite yet. That's still work in progress as well.
All right, got another one over here.
Any chance we can get branding to recognize the site hierarchy of an organization? So like we have 5 companies that sit under us. Each company wants their own branding for their own icon, their own naming. They want it all done their way.
Absolutely.
When can we get that?
Not an if, it's a when.
Yeah, when? I don't know. I have heard the feedback. We are trying to build the branding functionality into Self-Service Plus in such a way that we will be able to do that.
Yeah.
Whether or not we get to it this year, I don't know. There's lots of other priorities for our development teams to work on, but we are trying to build it in such a way that we will be able to do that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of branding requirements, or you can imagine there's been a lot of branding goodness which has come out of this. I think the current plan is to leverage blueprints to apply branding. You can really, we've had, sites is one thing, but we've had lots of different user groups as well, and smart groups that want different branding options. So At the moment, we're planning on leveraging blueprints as a way of controlling branding within a pro instance.
Yeah, so
I
kind
can't
of
give you a
scoping.
timeline on it. I'm not entirely sure where that will land just yet, but I can tell you it's
Yeah,
that's kind of
so,
where we want
so
to
the
go.
blueprint scoping, right? You scope it
The
to this
scoping
device,
element
it
of
gets
it,
one
yeah.
set of branding. You scope a different blueprint with different branding information to a different set of devices, and they will get different branding. Yeah, it's a goal.
High on the list, though. I mean, you can imagine how much branding chat we've had from everyone in the community. So, yeah, it's definitely a big goal.
Okay, you only get to ask a question if it's not about branding. Okay.
Does Self-Service Plus support the URL scheme for being able to say, go take me to this policy and show me the description and or execute that policy?
Yeah, all of the existing URL schemes should work in Self-Service Plus.
Yep.
So you shouldn't have to change a thing there if you already use them. If they don't work, please let us know. Because again, you all have lots of different environments, and we test, the things that we know that we need to support, and you might be doing something a little bit different or have a different character encoding or something. So let us know if it doesn't work.
Oh, perfect.
Is it on the roadmap anywhere to add a feature within where you can force the device to check into the Jamf console to get any updates it may need, like for help desk to be able to not send it to engineering because a profile is not installing the way we want it to?
We just talked about that.
We did just talk about that.
Just
That was
before
good
this
timing.
session. Yeah, I'm going to get my water while I answer, but right now, Self-Service Plus has a function under the menu bar, the reload command. So it's Command R is the keyboard shortcut, and Command R will have the Self-Service Classic functionality reach out to Jamf Pro and say, what new policies, what new updates, what new profiles or whatever am I supposed to have? And it will not trigger any of those things, but will display new information to the end user if they have new things from Jamf Pro. We don't have a button on the screen to do it. It is a menu command to do that function. And we don't really have anything to verify with Jamf Pro that it has already gotten the right things, if that is kind of the other side of your question, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any
around
function.
iOS, because that's where we see it the most. In our previous MDM, that was a capability we could do, and in Jamf, that's just like that one key thing that's lacking.
Sure, and we have already implemented a bunch of things in Self-Service Plus, and pull to refresh on the notification screen is something that we're doing. And so sort of pull down to refresh is something that we can put into more places to do that reload. I'm not sure that's in right now.
I don't think so. The goal is parity for this first tranche of work, and then but there's, like
Totally
we
makes
said,
sense.
we just talked about this before we came in because it's not the first time we heard it just today. So
Yep.
yeah.
Can you talk about the new dependency on SSO integration and the options for organizations that rely on Jamf Connect and Self-Service Classic, but don't have SSO integration, and also what the impact to users would be if we were to try to roll that out?
So let me just reiterate some of your question back so I understand it. You use Jamf Connect, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you have a user required login to get their Jamf Pro things from Self-Service Classic, or is that not enabled?
We have a standalone Entra ID portal that's used solely for Jamf Connect, running in a VM.
Sure. So as with most things identity, it gets really complicated really fast, and it depends a lot on your existing setups and how you have things configured. But the short, sort of high-level thinking about it is that Jamf Connect in Self-Service Plus does all of the same things that Jamf Connect outside of Self-Service Plus does. So if it's working for you in Jamf Connect main, like standalone Jamf Connect, it should continue to work in Jamf Connect in Self-Service Plus. That is the goal.
Even if that Entra ID is not currently set up for the SSO integration that the documentation we read said is required for Self-Service Plus?
So I think the SSO configuration that you're talking about is for the easy deployment of Self-Service Plus from Jamf Pro. You have to enable, as an IT admin, your Jamf Pro instance to single sign-on to the rest of Jamf Cloud services, because the deployment of Self-Service Plus on Mac is a cloud service that Jamf provides. For end users, their login to Jamf Connect and their ability to, like, as an IT admin, your ability to deploy Jamf Connect is not tied to SSO, other than you need your Jamf Pro to be able to talk to other Jamf Cloud services.
All right, I think we got time for one more. You field one more question? Cool, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you're the last one, make it good.
So, first off, keep up the good work. It's doing a great job. Thank you. We actually flipped the switch and checked the box about 2 weeks ago in our organization. And so we have everyone, and we did the Connect 3.0 at the same time. So the question is when the mobile side is released, is there going to be a separate checkbox under the mobile side for that, or it's just mobile just gets it?
Mobile gets it.
Yeah, mobile just gets it. So it'll be an automatic upgrade via the App Store that will replace Self-Service Classic with Self-Service Plus. Everything will still look the same, but it'll be Self-Service Plus. If you want to adopt the Jamf Trust element, so if you're looking for the network security, all of that sort of goodness, then you just grab an activation profile from Jamf Security Cloud and push it out via Pro, and then you can sign up to that kind of new experience. But on day one, when it gets replaced, it will be okay for end users. It will look very familiar, but it'll be an auto upgrade.
Okay.
Yep,
And one other thing in testing, we were running Classic and Self-Service Plus parallel, and we experienced that our logo wouldn't pop up unless we opened it, then it went away when we closed it. When I flipped the switch and it removed Classic, our logo sticks now with the Self-Service Plus. So
Yes.
I don't know if it's a one-off for us, but it is working on our end.
Yeah, it's an intermittent thing depending on your specific setup, and it works for some customers, and I'm happy that it works for you. That's great, and it doesn't work for other customers. So it's one of those things, we need to fix it, and we've got the fix in testing right now.
Yeah, poor Kyle hasn't seen sunlight for 3 weeks trying to get this thing done. So
Yeah, branding has been my everything for the last 3 weeks.
Okay, thank you everybody. Please give these guys one more round of applause. Appreciate you coming up on the stage, answering our questions. If you have more questions, there will be people at the booth who can handle you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, and the 5 winners, come find me. We need to take pictures of your
Yeah, the top
cards.
5 winners of the real or fake.